Hey everyone, we have a new IPO starting 14 September and this IPO is looking very promising. It is the IPO of Harsha Engineers. So in this video, we will quickly look at the business profile of the company, its promoters and leadership, future growth prospect, key risk and competitor, and then we'll look at the IPO details along with valuation. Finally, we'll conclude if it is worth applying for the IPO or not. Alright, let's get started. Harsha Engineer was incorporated in 1986. So company has nearly 35 years of experience in the industry. And as the name suggests, Harsha Engineers is a precision engineering company that is mainly into the manufacturing of bearing cages. These bearing cages form one of the 5 components of a bearing. Other elements include your inner ring, outer ring, etc. So bearing cages are a very important component in various machines where the primary usage is to prevent direct contact between two elements that are in relative motion. This in turn helps to prevent generation of heat and friction. Now there are various types of bearing cages available including brass cages, steel cages and polyamide cages made of high polymer materials. These cages are available in various sizes and shapes. Now I don't want to get into the technicals, but just to give you an idea, these bearing cages are used in various industries including railway sector, aerospace sector, automobile sector across your cars, trucks, bikes, then agriculture sector including tractors, planting machine, loaders, then electrical and electronic equipments like compressor, fan, pumps, semiconductor manufacturing, computer fan, etc. as well as in construction sector and mining sector. So basically there is a usage of these bearing cages across various industries. If you look at the revenue contribution for bearing products by sector in FY21, automobile contributed 22.5%, followed with construction that contributed 13.6%, then mining contributed 11.1%, followed with agriculture, railway, aviation, electrical and electronics and others. So overall there is no dependence on a specific sector. I hope that gives you a good understanding of the precision products and its usage. The most important part is that Harsha Engineer is the largest manufacturer of precision bearing cages in terms of revenue in organized sector in India and amongst the leading manufacturer of precision bearing cages in the world. And company commands a market share of nearly 50 to 60% in Indian bearing cages market and 6.5% market share in global organized bearing cage market as of FY21. That means company is the leader in India and among the leading player globally. It speaks everything about the quality of their business. Since the incorporation, company has manufactured more than 7,500 types of bearing cages and 295 other products in the automotive and industrial segments. Company has 4 manufacturing facilities including 2 facilities in Gujarat, 1 in China and another in Romania. And it supplies its products to over 25 countries across the world. It also has warehouses spread across 20 locations in the world. In addition to manufacturing bearing cages, company is also involved in EPC work, that is engineering, procurement and construction in solar photovoltaic industry and provide operation and maintenance service in the solar sector. Company has nearly 10 years of experience in solar EPC business. Although the revenue from solar EPC work is limited in the range of 6 to 7% and remaining 93-94% revenue is from precision engineering. Company has a very long-lasting relationship with leading global bearing manufacturers. Actually, this global bearing market is highly concentrated among a few manufacturers with nearly 54% of market being captured by top 6 companies. And all these top companies are client of Harsha Engineer including your Schaeffler AG, SKF, Timken, etc. It itself speaks about the business quality of Harsha Engineering. Now if you look at the promoters, its promoter and chairman is Mr. Rajendra Shah and another promoter and MD is Harish Rangwal. Both of them have more than 35 years of experience in the precision engineering and bearing cages manufacturing sector. Additionally, company has second generation promoter including Vishal Rangwal, who is the CEO of the company, and Pilak Shah as Chief Operating Officer. And they are also involved in the overall operations, strategies and business of the company. Overall, company has a very solid leadership and has a very strong foothold in the bearing cage industry with leadership in the sector. So from business profile point of view, company is looking fundamentally strong. Now let us try to understand the future prospect of the company. If you look at the future growth prospect, the global bearing market stands at $104 billion in FY21 and is expected to reach $171 billion by FY29, growing between 6 to 8% CAGR. So overall, the total addressable market size for Harsha Engineers is huge. although the overall growth rate of the sector is on lower side. Some of the key growth drivers would be, of course, the global economic growth, that increase in demand for customized bearing, the need for high performance bearing, as well as advancement in technology. Now, one of the biggest advantage for Harsha engineers is the growing outsourcing trend. As per K report, due to critical functions of a bearing cage and the resultant quality requirement, global bearing companies have steadily increased outsourcing for manufacturing of bearing cages, and the business from these bearing companies has gotten concentrated to a few bearing cage manufacturers, including Harsha engineers. Moreover, there is going to be high demand in solar sector for EPC work. So overall, the future prospects looks promising. Now, before you invest in Harsha engineer, you should be aware of two key risks for the company. First risk is the volatile prices for raw material. Obviously, company has dependence on metal like brass, steel, etc. as raw material to manufacture the precision engineering products, and any fluctuation in raw material prices would directly impact the profitability of the company. Then second risk is increasing penetration of electric vehicles. Now you would be wondering, how can EV vehicle penetration is a risk for the company? So try to understand this. The number of components required in electric vehicle are significantly lower than the traditional electric combustion engine vehicle. So as we move towards electric vehicle, the demand for total number of bearing would reduce as compared to traditional vehicle. It means the increasing EV penetration would negatively impact the bearing sector growth. Although the demand for bearings would not stop, it would only reduce. Hope you understand this. By the way, the electric vehicle would require development of customized bearing, and those customized bearings would likely command a premium price in the market. So this premium price would partially compensate the impact of slowdown in overall demand in the bearing sector due to EV penetration. And remember that automobile constitute around 22 to 23% of total bearing market. So it is not that overnight the demand would slow down. There would be an impact, but it would be nominal. Now the third risk is that it has a concentrated client base with nearly 70% business from its top 5 clients. Any loss of business from top clients can impact the revenue of the company. Now as far as competitors are concerned, the global bearing cage market is quite fragmented. Some of the global competitors include a Japanese company, then there's a German company, then there's an Indian company called Manu Vantralaya. Like I mentioned, Harsha Engineers is the leader in India with 50 to 60% market share, and globally it has 6.5% market share. Now if you look at the IPO details, Harsha Engineers IPO window is between 14 to 16 September. IPO price band is between 314 rupee to 330 rupee. Face value is rupees 10 per share, and minimum investment is rupees 14,850 with one lot having 45 share. IPO issue size is 755 crore, out of which 455 crore is fresh issue of equity and remaining 300 crore is offered for sale. The money raised from the IPO would be utilized for repayment of some borrowing, funding the capex for machinery, repair and renovation of existing facility, and general corporate expenses. Now if you look at the financials, company's revenues have grown from 889 crore in FY20 to 1339 crore in FY22, and profit after tax has grown from 22 crore in FY20 to 92 crore in FY22. So the earning growth is very good. If you look at the profitability, company's latest ROC stood at 25% and ROE stood at 19%. So again, profitability is good. Its debt to equities in FY22 stood at 0.7, which is reasonable, and this would further reduce from the money being raised by the IPO. So at high IPO price band of 330, company would command a market cap of around 3,000 crore rupees. So it's basically a small cap company. After the IPO, promoter holding in the company would reduce to 75%. Now as far as valuation is concerned, at higher price band, company would command a P ratio of 32.7 based on FY22 earning, which is looking reasonable as compared to other listed peers like Timken India that commands a P ratio of 64, SKF India that commands P ratio of 53, Schaeffler India that commands a P ratio of 73, and Rolex Ring that commands a P ratio of 36. Overall, we can conclude that Harsha Engineers is a fundamentally strong company and the IPO price is also looking reasonable. The future prospects are bright due to leadership of the company in the space and strong demand for outsourcing of bearing cage and global MNCs preferring Indian companies for manufacturing. Moreover, there would also be a growing demand within the Indian market itself. Hence, this IPO is worth applying for both short-term listing gain as well as for long-term wealth creation. I hope you will find this video useful. I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care.